It is wedding season. There is so much planning and time that goes into the wedding that couples may miss out on an important topic, how to handle the money after the I do. So here with some advice is Moriarty with Money Peace. She has some tips for merging for wedded bliss, money beyond the wedding, and thank you for joining us.
My pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to couples and they talk about so many different things, is talking about money one of the biggest challenges when you're starting a new life together?
Absolutely, for any couple. And I think whether it's starting a new life together or you've been together for a while, it's a really hot topic in the sense of it's touchy. Mm-hmm. And there have been studies that people talk about sex more than money.
So what's the best way to broach a topic to kind of get the conversation started?
One of the things that I often suggest is that people set aside time to talk about it, because it's not anything any of us, including me when I go home, want to talk about money. So have a money date, a time when it's quiet and you're both relaxed to have the conversation, because it's bound to be some disagreements potentially, but that's all right. That's normal and healthy, rather than bringing it up when someone just comes home from shopping or buying a boat or planning a trip.
So we want to hit some major points. You're just married. You're actually starting your life together, but you're talking about looking far into the future.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that, hey, this is what people should be doing after they get married. I insist that people do it before they get married, before you actually are wedded together financially, that you sit down and talk about what is going to happen when we're together. You know, how is this going to work?
And so you're talking about things like estate planning or things like wills or those kind of long-term thought processes?
Both the long-term thought processes to the insurance. Did we change our 401k and our beneficiaries? Or is that going to go to my sister still? Or is that going to go to a child from a previous marriage? Or is that going to go to my estate, and you'll get some of it, maybe. Mm-hmm. You know, those kind of things that are just normal part of conversation, but we don't think about them when we get married, because we talk about other things that are more fun, like the ceremony.
Ceremonies. A lot of times people nowadays seem to be getting married at later ages, so they're bringing more of their own financial life has already been established when they're entering a relationship.
Add that to the fact that financial lives are more complicated than they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now we have different types of insurance they may have. They might have 401k. They may have worked at 3 different places, so they have a 403b, a 401k, and a pension retirement plan. So they have to take this into consideration, as well as their previous financial commitments, if they have children or alimony or anything else that they're responsible for.
Looking as far as personal finances go, do you think, is it work best to merge the money for things like if you're shopping, grocery bills, those kind of things, or separate accounts and just kind of work it together as a team that way?
Yes and no.
Yes.
How's that?
Okay.
Yes and no. I always go by the plan of it should be his, hers, and ours. Mm-hmm. So there are certain expenses that you can agree on that are ours. Maybe it's groceries. Maybe it is the electric bill and the cable bill and the internet and the mortgage and anything around the household. And then maybe there's expenses that are separate. If you like different types of travel or recreation, or if one person never touches TV, then they shouldn't be the one paying for the cable bill unless you go, okay, we agree to pay for it. So it should be broke down by detail. And then some things are separate so that no one really cares whether you went, on a ski trip with your buddies and how much it costs, because you had your pool of money to do it with.
And real quick, how do you what's the best way to keep discussions about money from turning into fights about money?
There are going to be fights and arguments. So as long as you kind of go, oh, there will be, that's normal, we're going to disagree. It's really having the opportunity to keep that conversation going rather than making it an end-all and be-all.
A lot of discussions, a lot of interesting topics. And again, that one topic that you don't want to get involved with, but money is an important one going forward as you start to build your life together. Moriarty, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Kristen?